welcome back to Live and Breathe Horses. So today, thank goodness Alba's here to help me putting the hay away. So we have a spare stable inside that I use to keep the hay. So when the weather's bad, it saves having to go inside and outside to fill up the hay nets, and then it's quicker and don't have to go out in the rain. So annoyingly, the bales don't fit through the door, so the farmer dumps them here in the passageway, and then we take a few layers off, get the centre bit, push it in, and these have been great bales today because it's just peeling off in sections which are sticking together, which made it much faster, being able to just pick the sections up with our arms and take them in. So I did not expect to be buying hay this year because we had an abundance. So this summer was a strange experience for me, having too much grass. We arrived here last October and the grass was fine. There was grass all winter, but of course what I didn't realise, having lived in Andalusia for 4 decades, most of my life, and when I did have horses here, they were in a livery yard and there wasn't much turnout, or if there was lots of horses in the field, so I had no idea what was coming. And it was a real, my life has been a bit focused on moving from scarcity to abundance, and this was an amazing example of it with so much grass. So the horses have a field about 1 hectare for 3 horses. But it was just ridiculous. They were getting really fat really quickly. And then, of course, you're worried about laminitis and other related illnesses they could get from being too fat. Same as for people, not very healthy. So I made a track around the outside of the field and left the centre part. And then the neighbour said to me, you could cut that for hay. So the farmer came along, had a look, he said, oh, I'll cut it and take it for the cows. So I thought, oh, well, at least I don't have to pay to get rid of the grass. I was still amazed by there being too much grass. So he came, and actually it turned out to be lovely weather, and he said, oh, this could be hay for the horses, because obviously if it's damp then it's better to be silage for the cows. So there was so much, and we got, in the end, stacked in here 25 bales, and I thought, great, I've got hay for the whole winter. So this hay shed, obviously this is not my place, it's just rented, and this hay shed is really badly built. I mean, on one side I'm very grateful to have it, but it's got a big open end here and it faces into the worst of the weather. So when it's very windy and raining, the rain actually goes halfway back. And I thought, I can just put a tarpaulin down. You know, this year is a learning curve for me, and now I've been through each season. So this summer was a massive learning. Now I'll know what to do next summer, get the track up earlier. But anyway, so I covered it with a tarpaulin, and then came Storm Babette. And it started to get really windy, and I spent about an hour, I was here on my own, basically wrestling with the tarpaulin, trying to tie it back down because it was ripping off around the top, the bottom was coming out, and in the end, by the time I got here the next morning, it was completely ripped in half. The bottom and top were secure. It just ripped down the middle. It wasn't obviously the best quality tarpaulin. So the hay got wet. So now this is why I had to buy hay, because this first layer, these 6 bales, I think are absolutely ruined and soaked. Because actually the bit of the story I forgot, when I got them baled and put in here, it was going to rain heavy that night, so the farmer said, oh, we better just stick them in. And what I didn't know is you should leave them out to air off. So the day I went to tie the tarpaulin on, I got up on top and there was mushrooms growing out the top of the bales. I thought, oh my God, it's all ruined. So I got the farmer to come along. We put all the bales outside to let them air off a bit, and then got them all put back in again. And he said, oh, maybe you'll lose a little bit in the centre, might be rotten, because just the heat of the hay, you know, we thought it was properly dried, but apparently the bales need to dry a bit. You know, I do know that they can go on fire if you put them in too quickly. They generate so much heat, they can spontaneously go on fire. So between them getting a bit wet in the middle from the damp from the heat that is produced by the hay itself, and then getting wet from the outside from the storm, I don't know if I'm going to have any hay. So I'm hoping some of the ones at the back are okay, but obviously I can't get to them. And I thought, well, if I take these ones out while the weather's still bad, then the ones behind are going to get wet. So these are being left to protect the ones behind. And as soon as we get a little spell of sunny weather, the farmer's going to come, take these away for his cows, and with the machine, because obviously they're hard and heavy to move, and I'm praying that the ones behind are okay. So that was a big learning curve. Next year I don't think I'll be bothering trying to make my own hay, because it did work out a bit cheaper, but not that much, and I think most of it's, you know. So anyway, when I get my own place, hopefully soon, I will have a more appropriate hay shed that doesn't get wet halfway back or has doors on the front. So anyway, that is the story of the hay, which may or may not be interesting. And it's a beautiful sunny warm day today, so we're going away to get the horses in and do some work with the horses, and leave the hay where it is for now. So thank you for joining us today. Keep on tuning into the light, and I look forward to see you next time.